first of all, let's understand these Bretton Woods institutions, these IMF and World Bank institutions. I'm sure there are economists who are much better at describing all of this. I'm not an economist, but these Bretton Woods institutions were created just at the time of independence, and the West or the North knew that this was going to happen. Independence was just around the corner. Look at the governance mechanisms. The power still lies in the hands of the former colonies in the US. It's not in the hands, it's not one country, one vote. What happened is post-colonialism, many of these countries were getting independence, and they had very really sound economic policies. For instance, the governments of Zambia have very strong food subsidies in place. And these food subsidies, obviously, is the same food subsidies that Europe has to protect its farmers. It's the same food subsidies that US has to protect its farmers. Many of the countries post-independence had those food subsidies in place, but they were told to get these loans, to develop your infrastructure, to make these investments in your health and education and all of these things that you need, you have to stop these food subsidies. So they were forced to stop these food subsidies as a condition to take out these loans with massive interest. And a lot of, by the way, pre-loans, pre-IMF World Bank, they were actually having huge investments in their health and education. They were actually going down the right path of development. Now, years later, fast forward, you get a drought in Zambia and you have a famine happening in Zambia. And then this foreign aid system the machinery goes into work, and you start FCDO, UK aid, or DFID, or whatever it's called, starts giving funding to the UN agencies, to Save the Children, to Oxfam, to support poor people in Zambia who are experiencing this famine. But what was the underlying root cause of the famine? Why is it that Zambia had a famine? It's because they were forced by design, by these Bretton Woods institutions, as a condition of taking these loans to stop their food subsidies. It's okay for you in the global north to continue to have these mechanisms in place, but it's not okay for us. And these are the really big issues that are at hand in new negotiations at the WTO. Africa, for the first time since independence, has finally had an African-wide trade agreement. And they really now need to step it up and negotiate as a bloc with the European Union and with the US and all of these things. And I'm really scared that, you know, we're going to continue seeing the system operate in a way to ensure that Africa doesn't have these a level playing field. We're not asking for aid. We're just asking for a level playing field. That's what we need. We need the system to not be rigged against us. And that's currently what it is. We don't need aid. We can develop on our own as long as the trade, the financial and monetary policies are fair.